Hello.
Oh,
Hey,
we both did it at the same time.
okay.
I'm JJ,
I'm Tyler.
and we are brothers. We run Kiona Vineyards and Winery with our dad and the rest of our family, and this is the 5-minute Kiona BroCast.
There you go.
So today we're going to talk about a little wine terminology. Very exciting, I know. Today we're going to talk about the difference between aging and fermentation. Now these are kind of things that can be confusing. What happens where, how long, and hopefully we can clarify that a little bit, because it's not uncommon for us to hear things like, how long did you ferment this in your oak barrels? Which can be true, I suppose, but I think we just need a little clarification.
To talk about the exact differences between fermentation and aging.
Yeah. So why don't you take it away with
Okay,
fermentation
cool.
first.
So from the winemaker's perspective, we've got to get some juice to ferment. So if we're making red wine, we're picking red grapes and typically de-stemming them, just getting the berries into a tank or a bin for fermentation. For white wines, typically we pick the fruit and press it right away. We send the juice straight to the tank, and then at that point, we're more or less ready to ferment it.
So with whites, you're fermenting just juice. With reds, you're fermenting juice and skins.
Yes, that's exactly right.
Okay.
So from the winemaker's perspective, I'm going to choose what yeast I want to go into which tank or bin. We hydrate it with water, and we're off to the races once we pour the little yeasty straight into the tank. This is the primary, most important thing you could say that the winemaker does, right? We're turning literal grape juice into wine.
And that's fermentation. Sorry.
Through
interrupted you.
primary alcoholic fermentation. So the little yeast are converting sugar into ethanol, the alcohol that you drink in your finished wines.
Yeah. Sugar, great.
There you go.
It's the fuel to arrive at an alcoholic beverage.
Yep.
In our case,
There
wine.
you go. So in this process, the yeast are releasing heat and carbon dioxide, and in this process, converting sugar into ethanol. Now, this is a distinct process from aging. First, we need to ferment our wine, as we've been talking about.
And that takes, I'm sorry to interrupt again, how long does that take?
Yeah, typically 1 week or 3 weeks, sometimes a little longer if you're making a white wine that's going a little slower and cooler. Sure.
So the faster the ferment, the warmer the temp.
Generally,
Okay.
yep, makes the yeast happy and they kick off.
Very nice. Okay, so once you've fermented,
Yeah.
that is, you've started with sugary grape juice,
Yeah.
and then you've ended with fermented grape juice, which is now wine. Yeah.
Yep.
So now we're moving into the value-added aspect of winemaking, right? So we need to make it taste good now, okay? Because what we end up with after fermentation, primary fermentation, is like pretty harsh, not super tasty.
Yeah.
Kind of rough around the edges.
Yep, kind of be a little bit milky or cloudy. So
that doesn't sound good.
Yeah,
Sounds
but it turns great. So how we do it is we actually move wine between tanks and barrels and bins and what have you. Through this process, it allows the solids in the wine to settle a little bit, and so the wine becomes a little bit more clear. Yeah. We clarify it a little bit. It also gives us the opportunity to homogenize the wines together and then put them to sleep in the barrel nice and healthy, where they're going to continue aging over this period of time. For example, red wines, approximately 2 years.
Yeah. So fermentation can be measured in weeks, whereas aging is measured in years. Right?
Yeah.
And you can use, like, we can kind of be vessel agnostics here, right? Because you can ferment in stainless steel, amphora, clay, concrete, barrel even, but then aging, you can also use lots of different vessels.
Totally,
right?
and they each have their own influence on how that wine matures over time.
Right. So while you can age, ferment, finish a wine, and have that be done in oak barrels the entire time, it's not maybe the most common way of doing it.
Correct.
Typically, a wine is going from a stainless steel fermenter or a concrete fermenter and then being transferred over to barrels which are designed for aging.
That's exactly right.
Cool. All right. Well, I think that clears up the fermentation versus aging aspect.
Hope so a little bit.
So we have this segment. We're going to be calling this Antique Accolades. And here is an antique for you. So congratulations. The Central Washington State Fair would like you to know that your 1982 Merlot Rosé, we've got a cobweb, your 1982 Merlot Rosé, it was very good. So the Governor's Sweepstakes Trophy. Congratulations.
Excellent. Thank you very much.
You know, accolades like this really build the prestige of your brand, and it matters to consumers.
Yes.
So, when you have a big trophy like this, you know, they know they're getting something special.
That's it. That's exactly it.
All right. You ready?
Yes.
Okay.
Hold on. You got a little bit right here. You want to get out your front teeth. You look at it on the camera. Oh,
yeah, I do.
You probably won't be able to see it though on the.
Dude, it's episode 1. We gotta.
I'm just looking at your smile. I'm like, oh yeah, good start.
Yep. That's a great start. Oh, I can taste it.
Oh yeah.
It was pepper.